All right, so we'll roll through a window in here. So we're going to talk about inspection, right? Before we do that, I'm going to clean this baby off. Here we go. We're going to talk about inspection on window and the right way to do it. So we would make sure we're, basically you're making ownership, right? So what are you doing to take the customer? So the customer feels like they call in, like they want to have their windows done at some point, or their doors, or their bathroom, whatever it might be. Then how are you taking them from thinking they're 6 months to a year out, and what urgency are you building to bring them to today, right? What urgency are you doing to build them today and not get stuck in basically the trap where they're 6 months to a year out from doing the project? So let's think about that real quick, right? We talk about it in your setup, right? So when you're at the table, you don't want to do it, and you don't want to ask so many questions that you've got all the things to talk about out at the table, right? So you want to get enough information to where you're powerful punching them at the table here, or punching them at the window, because we need to make sure, again, this is our point where we have to establish credibility. We're earning trust, right? We got to make sure that we're not setting ourselves up in a position to lose. So we really have to be strategic and deliberate on our approach here, right? So as we're talking through, as we got our clipboard, right, there's some key questions in here that we're going to be asking at the table, like how long have you been thinking about doing the project, right? What stood in the way from so far? Sounds like to me things are better now, right? What's the number one reason that motivated you to be looking at your windows? Fast forward 6 months from now, what would your new windows be doing that your own windows aren't? So again, to make sure that we're bringing that up. So bringing that up, we want to make sure we're not missing any dial. So here, we're going to do a little role play, and we're going to roll through. So as we walk through it, just kind of pay attention to these segments and the things that we are trying to accomplish here. So again, purpose is to build urgency and create need, right? So we want to basically urgency, need, and trust. Urgency, need, and trust. So here we go. All right, so Alex, thanks for calling me out today. You said at the table that there was a couple of things going on with your windows through here. Now you talked about, I think the first thing you said was heat, right?
Correct.
Tell me about the heat here and what's going on with this. When you say heat, what do you mean? Like
it's just
uncomfortable or?
Oh yeah, it's just coming right in. Heats up this room.
Okay, so is there certain times of the day that it heats the room up, or is it all the time, or what?
No, I mean pretty much peak, which can be anywhere from like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon up until late evening in the summertime.
Wow. So we're going to basically make sure again that so the heat comes in. And you said about 6, 8 hours a day. This room's almost unusable, right?
Yes.
God, how does that make you guys feel? That sounds horrible.
Not comfy.
Not comfy?
No.
Okay. So wow. So it's not comfy. Now, time out. If I were in here and I'm really doing this, I'm going to be taking notes of any key words that he tells me, right? Until you get at mastery level, you're making a list, almost a checklist of items that when you get and got your product or your resolution, that you're going to be checking out these items. If I don't check out the items or have a checklist for them to go down, so I know the talking points that are important to them, then seriously, I'm setting myself up to be Vanna White or just doing a product presentation that has no substance behind it. So let's pay attention to this again. All right, time back in. So man, so that sounds crazy. So it doesn't make you feel real good. And you said you got put blinds up there. How long ago did you put blinds up?
Oh, they came with the house.
Okay, so they were already with the house. Huh?
Correct.
All right, and how are they doing keeping that heat out?
I'm sure they have some kind of an effect, but they're not.
Have you done anything else to try to fix it? No. Sounds like to me you've kind of given up trying for even starting, right? That's safe to say.
Yeah, I mean, besides the blinds, closing the blinds, that's the only kind of thing we can see what we can do.
Yeah. Now let me ask you: is this the only window that's like this, or are there multiple windows that are in the same scenario, or what?
Yeah, that's the west facing of the house, so it's pretty much kind of everything on this wall right here.
Wow. Okay, so you get that there are a lot of windows and not just this one. Yeah. Is this the one you notice the most? Because does your wife spend a lot of time in here, or do you guys both spend a lot of time in here?
Well, I'm at work all day, so she's the one who's at home. So yeah, she's feeling more than anybody else.
She probably can't take that mid-afternoon nap, huh? Just forced to make sure the kids are taken care of. So I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But on the serious note, you had mentioned not only the heat coming in, is it causing some other things to have happen? I mean, that creates some like damage to the home, or I know you guys had new flooring in here. Did to replace it because something was going on or what?
Yeah, when we got in, they had the carpet here, and the carpet didn't look that old, like stain-wise and stuff, but we noticed that there was a little wear mark, and we were like, well, what the heck is that? And I'm trying to figure it out, like, was there a piece of furniture there or something like that? And then I think we figured out that it was the heat coming through that window.
So when the heat coming through the window, did it kind of fade it out or what happened?
That's like being Columbo and detective, that's kind of what we figured.
Okay. So like you say, so it was like right around the window that it changed color? Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, it was just a little bit of discoloration. So, sometimes you can see like where a piece of furniture has been there.
What color was the carpet?
The carpet was like a lighter blue,
Oh, wow.
and then that was kind of almost like a purple hue to it, kind of like it was just washed out and faded out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
How long did you notice that for you guys? You said you owned the house again for what, 3 years?
For 3 years, yeah. It wasn't. I don't know. We probably noticed it, but it wasn't really anything until we really got settled in.
Yeah.
And then you kind of started looking around. It's like, what's going on there?
So how long would you guys do the flooring?
Man, time flies. Early in the year, so I guess maybe 8-9 months ago,
Okay. So 8-9 months ago.
beginning of the year.
Does that concern you? The same thing can happen to the floor? I mean, these floors don't look cheap.
Yeah, no, we don't need that to be happening to these floors.
Yeah, so it sounds like to me you need to make sure that doesn't happen again, right?
Correct.
What have you guys done to protect the floor so far?
Just got, the hard floor instead of the carpet. It's supposed to be more durable and just ease of maintenance. So we're hoping that helps along with, not having that happen tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of times, it's really hard to fight off the sun, man. Mother Nature and science, those are two things that don't lie. They generally rebel, man. So it sounds like to me that I'll explain that to you in a few minutes on how we probably need to be pretty careful now. Real quick before we get on that, we know it's hot, right? So
Correct.
when it gets super hot in here, let me ask you a question, dude. Do you guys use your AC a lot, or how do you try to stay comfortable?
Oh yeah, that bad boy's constantly going.
Oh wow! You said this thing being 68 hours a day, super uncomfortable. A house like this, what do you pay utility wise? Like $800,000? What do you think?
No, thank goodness. My head would explode. If I was $800,000. My top of my head would be off right now.
Oh wow! Okay, so what are you paying?
Probably closer to half that. Probably
About
on the bad
500?
months, about $400 or $500. Yeah.
Are you happy with that? That's
No.
whoa.
That's too much.
Whoa. Okay. So about $400 to $500. Let me make a note of that. Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, have you noticed that since you guys have owned the house, I've been that way all 3 years? Has it gotten worse?
Seems to kind of be getting hotter every year. So, didn't so much notice it maybe the first year in, kind of getting settled in, but then all of a sudden you got something to compare it to.
Okay.
And so the main thing is just when you open up that bill and you see that $400 or $500, that's the shocker right there.
Other things you'd like to be spending, like golf clubs and things?
Yeah, don't tell the wife, but yeah, sure. I'd rather be not giving it to the electric company and putting in something that something for the family or something.
Yeah,
that we like.
sounds like you're already paying for your windows then, huh? So the thing we look at right here, you talk about operation real quick, right, too? So thanks for sharing that on the heat. Is there anything else about the window that you're noticing going on? Maybe.
Yeah, just a little bit difficult to open and close.
Can you show me what that looks like real quick?
Oh yeah, sure. So this one kind of sticks.
Oh man, whoa! You working out these days, buddy?
Yeah.
As I have every vein in your arms coming out.
My window curls right here.
Yeah.
You don't even need a gym membership.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so it kind of makes it a pain in the ass to open and close and manage.
I can see that. Wow.
Typically, we don't even open that window.
Okay. This is a bedroom, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the only window looks like in the bedroom, so or one of the only two. But man, one of the things I'm concerned about. This is a wood. Looks like a wood window. I mean, your wife, how's her ability to open that window?
It's not. That's why we don't open it. Yeah.
Okay. And then obviously, if your wife can't do it, how old are your kids?
8 and 13.
8 and 13.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that, right? So again, I doubt they could probably get on that either, right?
Nah. No.
And one of the reasons I asked that really, operation, because we don't think about things sometimes. We live in our own situational awareness, but think about it. We're saying Anna winds and things like that coming through. Fires are becoming more and more prevalent. Have you ever thought about basically, if something were to happen and they were to get out of that window, how that might cause some problems right through there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't even think about that one.
Yeah, because obviously, I mean, I didn't really, I mean, I've heard of Santa Ana winds and all that stuff, and we deal with people that get their house actually torched and have to rebuild it again.
Oh, wow.
And every time I see kids or things like that, it just always reminds me to bring that up, man. My wife watches this stupid show called, what is it? It's like a little sitcom thing, but it showed this dad that actually went back in for his daughter and burned up in the fire because he couldn't get out the windows. It's just, I made me sick to my stomach even remembering that, right?
Oh,
Good show. I can't remember what it was, like a sitcom thing. And it reminded me of that. So I always like to bring that up to the attention. I think it's important. You know, if you can't operate them, you keep that in the back of your mind. What will be an escape route if there was?
Huh.
Right? You see why I bring that up? It's probably
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys in the fire zone here, or?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think there's a history of any kind of fires happening here.
No, I think we're getting kind of close before, but not exactly right here, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, you just want to be prepared for the worst, right?
Oh, sure.
Okay. All right. So cool. So obviously, man, is there anything else you want to share about the window?
Like I told you earlier, it's the heat and the operation functionality of them. It's really the two big sticking points here.
Two big sticking points. Okay. So it sounds like the heat and energy efficiency, especially when you're going to lose your bill a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Can I take a closer look real quick?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
All right, great. Hey, thanks for again letting me do this. Now, I'm not going to try to open your window because I think that you just showed me that's not too easy to do.
Sure.
So I did notice a little bit of dust in your seals here and kind of up here as well. You know, is that something you notice there often, or?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we wipe it down and it shows up again.
Okay, well, cool. So
Like making the bed, make your bed dirty. Yeah.
seems like sometimes you can't win, doesn't it? So again, one of the reasons why, one of the reasons I kind of take a look at that, all right, is, you know, sometimes you see dust come in, it's a good chance there's an air leak, right?
Yeah, sure.
If it keeps coming back into it as an air leak, and you know why I even say that's an issue, or why I'm even sharing that with you?
Oh, well, you don't want the stuff from outside coming inside the house.
Yeah, because exactly right. I mean, allergen, pollens, things like that. But even just as important is, you know, you ever hear your furnace air conditioner go on and off, on and off?
Yeah.
Okay. Some people don't because you get situational awareness. But yeah, I've heard it actually since I've been here 4 times, not counting the times we've been talking, right?
Yeah, I'm dad, so I'm always cognizant of that. The
Yeah.
kids are the ones that don't pay attention.
Yeah, they just leave the doors open, run outside, right? Absolutely.
Correct.
They're not paying the bill, having a heart attack every time they open it up.
Yeah.
It's like the wrong Christmas morning, right? You're paying out the bill rather than receiving it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is supposed to make you feel better to give than to receive, but I think when it comes to that, it's absolutely backwards, right?
Correct.
All right, so one of the reasons I say that is, you know, right now we got all that heat coming in, that 6-8 hours a day, it's making you guys uncomfortable.
Sure.
You know, when you think of the heat coming through, right, that hot to cold transfer, if it's, let's say right now, this heat mic, it's got to be 90 degrees by here, man.
Sure.
If I had my thermometer, I'd take the temperature and see exactly what it is, but it looks like it's probably about 80. So let's just say, if you're trying to keep it, what do you guys keep it, about 68 to 70 on your thermometer?
Not that low, probably about 75, 76.
Oh, 75, 76?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you keep it 75, 76 in there, and let's say it's 9 degrees outside where we're sitting right here, and the heat's coming through, right? You know, when the heat comes through, this dust is obviously carrying air in there. It's like you wash your car, and, you know, if you wash your car and basically you just leave it parked in one place, just didn't move it, like a week, it's all covered in what?
Dust.
Same thing kind of happens here, right? These old windows don't have any weather stripping.
Uh,
So you get air that leaks all the way around these things, and as tight as they fit, right? They still leak air because things rack and get out of settle, right?
Oh.
So you get that 85, 90 degree temperature coming in. That's going to bring air. If there's about, what do you think the average mile an hour wind is?
10, 15, 20, something like that.
Yeah, let's say 10, 15 on the high, right? So say 10, 15, you know, by the time air makes it in here, it's not going to be 10, 15 miles. No, it might only be a mile or two, right? It's enough to bring that in. But that air that's coming in, your thermostat, if I walked over to the middle of the house and put my arm up where your thermostat goes, and I walked right here to the middle of the window, generally it sets right smack down the middle of the window. So if it's coming, if that thermostat's reading right here, and the temperature coming in is like 85, 90 miles or 90 degrees, 85, 90 degrees, and it's trying to stay 75 to 76 degrees, what's that tell your air conditioner to do?
Kick back on.
Kicks on, right, to take the air back down to 68 to 70, and it shuts off, right? And then when more air comes in, then it kicks it back on Sandy that shuts off, and then Einstein's definition Sandy keeps happening over and over and over again. And every time that turns on and off, just like that, you realize running your heating and air conditioning unit every time that turns on is the same as generating a swimming pool.
Oh,
Same as generating a hot, right? Those hot tubs outside, right?
Yeah.
Same as basically plugging in like 12 lamps or basically 12 computers. So you're burning a lot of energy every time that thing turns on and off, right? So when you think about things like that, we got to be careful because no matter, even if we had solar in the sky, that's still not stopping the wear and tear on my basically a heating air conditioning unit, right?
yeah,
Even a condenser is $5,000. You basically take the whole unit, you could be up there, but by the time ductwork and all that stuff kicks in, somewhere about $20,000, just replace that.
Huh.
And that's not even talking about the windows, right?
correct.
So again, can you see how that is affecting your house as far as the air comes in?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So again, no matter what I turn down the dial, because that's talking about the heat, right? Next, we're talking about the heat in the glass. Through here, you got old dual pane windows. It looks like somebody ran their sewing machine down. Can you check this out? Looks like somebody kind of ran a sewing machine down there.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
What that tells you is back behind there, there's deskins and silica gel, right? Like a new pair of shoes, like all the white packets of silica gel, like buy a new pair of shoes or a hunting scope or basically a packing box.
Moisture pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those are designed to what?
Suck up moisture.
Suck up moisture, right? So they do the same thing because the last thing you do is let moisture inside of here. You see what looks like somebody blew their nose in between these?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't want to let that get in.
I've seen a window like that before.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We want to keep that out of there, right? Because you think about this is designed to work like your wall, like insulation, right? An average wall is about an R12 to R15. A roof is about an R30 to R45, right? So we want our windows to kind of work like our walls, right? Because it's hot in front of our windows, we step in front of that wall because we want to be comfortable, right?
Sure.
So if we take that, we got to look at it and realize that, if we take glass for what it is, I can't make some things, no matter what I do, something that is not, right? If I look at that wood, I want that to become something different than wood. Can I make that? No, it's always going to be wood, right?
Yep.
If I make an aluminum window or anything aluminum, can I look at aluminum and can I do anything to make it not aluminum?
Nope.
No, it is what it is. It's got characteristics and it's going to do what it's going to do. Like wood expands and contracts, right? Swings, it swells in the summer, shrinks in the winter, right? So there's never ever going to be 100% contact in that window, right? Different times of the year, it's going to do different things. Sometime of the year, this might be super easy to operate. It might be wiggling out your sashes, and the other part, it might be so tight like it is right now, where you got to use every muscle in your arm and your forearms, like I saw every vein popping out of it, to even open it. So that's one thing that's very inconsistent.
Gotcha.
So when you think of things like this, that's one of the reasons why dust comes in the seal when we walk into. Second thing is your insulation. If I got two pieces of glass, that's an R value less than 1, which means basically, again, that's not really doing much to work just like my wall, like my roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you get all this heat coming in and the insulation's coming through here like crazy, you got that heat coming in, it's obviously going to make it uncomfortable in here. So again, if it's coming in at basically, let's say 100 degrees, because that heat's blasting right from the sun, and I got that 75 to 76 degree going on, that's raising that temperature up, causing, again, Einstein's definition Sandy to be compounded. Not just the air leaking through when the sun's not beating on, or the sun traveling through, right? Because again, let's think about one other thing. If the sun's not beating on it, do I still get heat through here? Yeah, because glass is a great conductor. You take like a glass bowl in the microwave and put cheese dip in it, right? I love that stuff. You like cheese dip?
Sure.
Oh, so freaking good, right? I take cheese dip. Oh my God, let me tell you about the story I had the other night. Oh, my boy, I got a 12-year-old too. And our favorite thing is to go to Rite Aid, a bag of chips, right? A bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. And basically this bowl, we put, and literally that cheese dip, we go put it in the microwave for about 2 minutes. And then what happens is we pull it out of the microwave. We can't even touch the bowl. So I look around the edges, burn around the edges, and I see it's all piping on the sides. And I go and I set it down. I grab that first Cool Ranch Dorito because me and my son are fighting to get the first one, right? And I take a bite. It's cold in the freaking middle. I'm like, what? I don't even understand that, right? Because it's burnt around the edges. It's cold in the middle. Why is that happening?
Yeah.
We learned about this in class the other day. Because the glass is conducting the heat around the side of it. Because it's a good conductor. So now I know how to talk about windows, right? So I got the glass is a great conductor. So again, all the heat is being attracted to right here. right? And that's allowing that heat to come in. And the spacer system set in the middle is metal, right? So if I got all aluminum window and glass, I'm really screwed.
Yeah.
But again, when I look at this one, I got that hot to cold transfer coming through. No matter what I do, I can't turn down my thermostat enough to fight off the outdoors, right?
Nope.
So again, I'm gonna have all this heat coming in, no matter what I do. Even my blinds turn a certain way, I'm never gonna stop that completely from coming in, right? Can you see how that affects you in there?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so right now we got no insulation, and we got the heat coming through as it wants. We got basically no basic weather stripping. We got all that heat coming in as well. And we got the hot to cold transfer that we didn't talk about yet, right? Yeah, you ever been in the Midwest where it's cold outside?
Yeah, spent a year in Kansas City.
There you go.
Got there in August and it was sweltering, humidity.
And what happens in October?
A month and a half later, it was snowing.
Yeah, and you walk outside, right? And you work layers, right? Teach you wear layers in cold climates.
Correct.
But when you walk outside, even if you got your jacket on, you got your stocking hat on, and your body walks outside, what do you see leaving your mouth?
Steam.
Heat, right? Because what happens is cold outside. If I stay out there and I'd have my jacket on, it wouldn't take me long to freeze, right? For the hypothermia.
Yeah.
So what happens is hot is attracted to cold. So you see the heat from your body leaving out in the steam, which is causing that moisture.
Mhm.
The same thing happens here, right? A lot of times on aluminum windows, even glass like this, where it's not insulated, you'll see a lot of condensation happening and building up on the inside of this pane, right? Because it's like if outside, we're a hot cup of coffee right now, and we got our glass ice water in. If hot's attracted to cold, what's happening to that ice water, right? You got the heat coming in, and is it cooling up or warming down or is it cooling down or warming up the air inside here?
Warming up.
Yeah, because I got that heat coming in, I'm trying to keep it 68 to 75, 76 degrees, and I got 90-degree temperatures coming through my window, and it's hitting that 60 or 75 to 76 degrees. That's raising that temperature up, which then again tells my furnace air conditioner to do what?
Kick on.
Kick on and off, right? So again, that's why all these things that are happening in windows are so important, not just one thing. And there's different ways people put tents on and things like that. We'll go through it a little bit. I'm not going to spend as much time as we're talking right now,
Sure.
but I think it's important to know why it's happening, right? Did you realize that was happening with the windows?
I just knew that the heat was coming in. I didn't realize all these other things.
Yeah, sometimes we don't know, right? It's like an
Sure.
invisible hole in the wall.
Yeah.
So like, we'll go outside and take a look at it in a minute, but oh my gosh. How long has this been happening?
What?
See the gaps right here in the wood?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't even notice that until you just pointed it out.
Did you guys ever have a leak in here or anything? Any kind of water damage?
No.
No?
Not that I know.
Okay. Wow. Let's feel this real quick. See if I can feel something. Man, see right here, you can almost see the tape, the drywall tape right here. See that? Right there, I bet you're getting a little bit of moisture underneath there. That's a little crazy. And see, the thing I worry about, so you got a light switch down here. That water gets back down and gets in that light switch, it could be in some trouble. Yeah. See, our friends at Owens Corning, the Pink Panther stuff,
Yeah.
so it only takes 3% moisture, but insulation to collapse by a third. If that collapses by a third, then again, we could run into some major problems down there. We could get into knee wall damage, right? Because down there we got warm, moist, dark areas. So we want to make sure again what we're doing is not basically causing any damage to that. If it does, and I got to rebuild that knee wall, the average cost of knee wall, you know how much that costs?
Yeah, bet you tell me.
About 800 to $2,000, dude,
Oh,
on top of the window.
gotcha.
So if I got 802 grand, 802 grand, 802 grand, I got like $4,000 in just knee walls here if I don't correct stuff like that. That's why it's so important when I check it out,
Yeah.
because you don't want to spend this money once, right? You want to do it multiple times.
Nah, man.
All right, so really
One
the way that we install this thing is going to have to matter to make sure that we are addressing any of the concerns we're seeing. That make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So let's go, if you don't mind.
I didn't even see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you so far. You got any questions so far?
Well, now I got a question. What's happening down that knee wall?
Yeah, based on the knee wall, I mean, do you guys have anything going on the outside, like any cracks in the stucco or anything? I'm noticing because that's really
That
concerning.
I don't know. I haven't paid too much attention to the walls outside.
You understand why I'm kind of asking it now?
Oh, sure.
We want to make sure there's nothing bigger going on that we don't know.
Yeah.
Man, okay. Let's, if you don't mind, let's go take a look outside real quick and then we'll kind of work our way back around.
Oh, sure.
Is that all right?
Perfect.
Cool. What? All right. Now we're walking through. Here's our front door. So stand back real quick. Look at this, John. All right. Wow. On the, Alex, look at the top left, top right hand corner of your door. Like right here, man. You see the difference in the size of gap here?
Oh, yeah, it's less on the right, it's more on the left.
Yeah. So when we look at this, and it's kind of one of the crazy things about it. If you look at that gap, it's larger on one side than the other. It means that stuff is racked. It's got to square a little bit, right?
Huh.
Now, if you think about it, that happens from generally wood shifting, kind of coming through. Like some of your cheap doors really all have wood. They go all around the corners, so they rack all the time.
You're not gonna try to sell me a door now, right?
No, it's up to you. I'll take a look at it while you're here, but I'm just saying that that's something you're not noticing right there, right?
Gotcha.
Now, if you remember your window, how we're getting some gaps, like the air was coming in, looked like really big on the left-hand side of it.
Okay.
If you think about it, how much more do you think this door weighs in your window?
Oh, a lot more.
How much you think?
I don't know, maybe ballpark 3 times as much, right?
Yeah, so if your door weighs 3 times more than your window, why would your window do anything different than your door if it's got a larger gap from one side to the other?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So we walk outside, I think we really need to see if that makes a little bit more sense, right?
Sure.
Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at that because, one of the reasons that it shares with me, I'm gonna show that with the outside when we walk outside and do our inspection.
Oh, okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, sure.
It sounds like to me, based on what you see on the inside of it, you've given up trying to fix that on your own.
Yeah, the old blinds trick ain't working no more, so.
Sounds like to me, based on what we're seeing, I think we'd agree, especially with what we see going on with the knee wall and some of the other stuff that they need to be replaced. Would you agree with that?
Yep.
Okay, let's take a look outside real quick.
All right.
All right. So as we look at the outside, right, and we're trying to take a look at this here, roll it. So take a look at the outside. I want to kind of take a look at here, man. All right, so I'm trying to make sense. Oh my gosh, look, this set makes absolute sense, right? You see how your gap on the left is larger than the one on the right here?
Oh, yeah.
Makes a lot of sense, right? Because we're noticing all that gaps coming in. We're noticing dust on the inside of it.
Yep.
So they're showing us, and the reason why I point that out, do you have any clue?
Well, it's the same thing that's happening with that door.
Yeah, because windows are super easy, right? You got a rectangle, and one other large rectangle in here. I got 3 rectangles that all have to kind of work together in unison.
Gotcha.
And the bad thing is the glass works different than the frame, and the aluminum works different than the wood. So you got 3 different things moving at different rates, right?
Huh.
So only what's going to happen over time. You got this glass has like a dancing partner, right? Wood expands, contracts 4 times the rate of glass, constantly moving like that. So like a dance partner. I think I have a dance partner that I'm stuck with for my entire life, right? Kind of like being married. I don't want a dance partner that's going to move 5 times or 4 times faster than I'm moving for that entire lifetime, right? I don't need that because eventually what's going to happen is you get seal failure or somebody looks like they blew their nose in between. Before I get to that, we're going to explain that in a little more detail later. But we see that gap, the thing that's scary, we talk about the energy efficiency on the inside of it. You take a 16th inch gap, the smallest line on a tape measure, right? If I take a tape measure coming up, the very first line, that's
Sure.
16th inch.
Okay.
They said if you do that around a normal 3x5 foot window, it's the equivalent of a 12 square inch hole leading directly outdoors. About the size of a brick. If I had a brick missing right here, right out of the wall, picture a brick where you could look right inside the house. Alex, how long would it take you to fix that?
I go grab a brick pretty darn quick and shove it right in there.
Why would you do that?
I don't need a hole in my wall.
Yeah, we don't want a hole in the wall, right? Because we're losing what?
Losing energy efficiency.
Not to mention bugs and everything else.
Yeah, filtration point.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that's stopped no matter what the cost, right? So we got to take care of that. Next, we look at this. We got things going on down here in the cracks and the stucco. Didn't quite look quite bad enough that we got to worry about down here yet, but worse, buddy. I think we need to count our lucky stars. If it gets much worse, I think we might have some problems down there, right? It sounds like to me you want to get ahead of that before we add another 82 grand on per window, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So it sounds like to me that's kind of a big deal. I'm not feeling it super smoky down there. Here, go ahead and grab that real quick and take a feel for me underneath the window. I want you to just go ahead and push on that a little bit, okay? Now, one of the other things I want to share with you real quick. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Obviously, you can have a pin size hole. They can create a gallon size problem inside the house. We don't want to let that happen, right?
No.
So again, some of the other things that happen is on the top, flashing issues. When we talk about up here, there might be flashing issues where the water runs into it. It could be like over here, water spots and some of the dry edges. It could be like here where one of watermarks that run back down it. Because on the bottom of all stucco, there's something called a weep screed, right? So yours is, whoever did your stucco, you must have somebody come back and re-stucco, because on the bottom down here, there's a weep screed, right? And a weep screed is what designs the water to run behind your stucco that runs down into the house, right? And then it runs back away from the house. It also prevents water from coming up in the house, right? And the problem with that, behind your stucco. So
Okay.
what a lot of companies will try to do is they'll just try to take out the sashes, just like this one over here. They'll try to take out just the sashes and leave the old frame. Well, if this frame here is the reason why basically the window failed in the first place, why would I want to leave an old frame inside of my home that's already not working? Because what happens is all the stucco, in between the stucco and the paper, is going to make it into this window. So if I install the on top of this one, which is more important, the old window or the new window?
The old window.
The old window, right? It's kind of like a gutter. If I had a gutter on the house and that gutter was great or wrong and not doing what it needed to do anymore, right? Would I just put another gutter on top of the old gutter, or would I take it off and put a new one in?
Take it off.
Put it back on top of it. Would it actually solve anything or make it worse?
That'd be about the silliest thing ever.
It would be the silliest thing ever, right? Kind of, I put a window in here, the only water it's catching is the stuff from the top and from back behind. Which is why they can't even caulk the bottom of some of those things called retrofit windows. And the water really has to still run out of the old window, so they can't caulk the bottom of it. So you get spiders and debris and things like that. And the second thing, which is kind of stupid, if you really think, because common sense isn't common practice. If I really take this, and let's say I've got X window manufacturer. Let's say today you woke up and you're a CEO of a window manufacturer.
Okay.
You're going to write the warranty or something, right?
Okay.
Let me just talk about some non-windows real quick, and we'll jump into this, right?
Okay.
If I took, programs, right?
Yep.
If I took a Chevy engine and put it inside a Ford body, would Chevy warranty the Ford body?
No way.
And would basically Ford warranty the Chevy engine?
Nope.
Oh, they're two completely different components, right?
Correct.
So again, basically, it sounds ridiculous to even have those polar opposites. So if I had a aluminum window company or wood window company frame, let's say XYZ company window,
Sure.
and you were manufacturing windows, right? And the window you manufactured, when it was going to set on top of this old window, right? So they're going to take these sashes out, and they're going to set it on top of it. That old gutter's in place, and the old frame is back into there. Would you ever basically, if there was a leak that happened in between the old window and the new window, and it rotted out your knee wall, would you cover that as the manufacturer?
Nope.
Why?
Well, because they just put another.
Put a lifetime warranty on it, right? So the other one, let's say this manufacturer here, basically there's a problem where the current window in here melted because it set on top of an all aluminum frame. So your new window warped and it didn't do what it's supposed to do because it's set on an all aluminum frame that's aluminum. Aluminum gets hot. Would you agree with that?
Yep.
No matter what I do to aluminum, am I going to prevent that thing from getting hot?
Nope.
Prevent it from getting cold?
Nope.
No, it is what aluminum is, right?
Yes.
So if your window started to warp and started to lose its shape because that old aluminum window, are you going to want that?
Heck no.
And with that old aluminum window warranty your new window?
Nope.
Makes no sense, right? So guess what the number one reason why a warranty is voided in America on replacing windows or doors?
Probably like a wacky installation.
Proper installation. And let me ask you, would you ever consider your brand new window installed on an old manufacturer's window to be considered a proper installation?
Doesn't sound like it at all.
Doesn't even make sense, does it?
No.
Okay. Not to mention that you're really fixing the problem or you're just covering it up.
Burn it up.
It's cheaper that way. If you want to go that way, you want to do it cheap, you could do that. But guess what? We're not fixing.
The problem.
Yeah. Remember the stuff we saw in the drywall on the inside of it?
Yeah.
And the very reason that's happening is still left into the house, but you're just covering it up. All you've done is put a cosmetic fix on top. It's like a Band-Aid. Right?
I might even be causing more problems later.
Yeah, but the problem is then you can't see it. So let me ask you, would you ever consider putting a retrofit window in your house no matter what the cost?
No, it doesn't sound like it to me.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Not with
right?
what you're telling me here.
No, not to mention there's things like lightning bead and all kinds of other things that happen into this. Back down inside here. The most important thing I have to do, remember the insulation? Talk about glass has an R value less than 1.
Correct.
If there's insulation ever put inside this glass, and I want to try to make it work like my wall at all, I have to protect that at all costs. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you, knowing that we know the windows need to be replaced, is there anything else that you need to share with me before we walk back inside?
No, I was just going to ask you the same question.
Yeah. Well, I think we got it pretty much licked. I mean, obviously, we're going to go back through and take some measurements and do some detailed measurements and designs and things to that nature. But again, I want to make sure that we did a proper analysis of what needs to be done, and obviously what you want to have done, and make sure again looks like to me we can help you on this. Hopefully, you know, I'm not saying it's going to be cheap because obviously I didn't build your house. You're asking us to correct it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at what solutions we do have as far as designs, color choices, things of that nature. Make sense?
Yeah. Well, we're not just looking for the cheapest thing anyways, you know?
Well, if you did, you'd have that.
Uh,
And you already got the most expensive window.
why
The one
is
that's
that?
already cost you money.
Oh.
Unfortunately, right now with the utility bills you're paying at $500 a month or real close to that, you're already paying for your windows anyway. So let's see if we can't do that yet. Okay,
Sure.
cool.
Sounds good.
All right, perfect. All right, so that's a little wrap down of a mock inspection inside of the showroom. So hopefully that helps get you a little more dialed in and realize, you see how many questions I asked, so the involvement was inside of it. Get yourself involved into that and become a master inspection and watch the dollars will follow. Again, you're doing the right thing for the customer. You're educating, teaching, and the cool thing is you're making it to the situation yourself. If you think about it, make a list of all the items that we went through there. There would be great talking points to tie back in. What are the talking points we went through there? Again, that would be great talking points of solution on the window. At the end of the solution, then we make sure we check off all those boxes that we had and make sure again, then we found the solutions we found on the inspection, and it hurt bad enough to the end that they feel like we are the only and best solution for them. We found all the colors, choices, warranties that they want and make it all make sense. And then at the end of the day, did we ask insights, price, or payment? No. So this is the best evolution to set your whole presentation up. This is what I call a game changer. All right, commitment to need. This is Dustin, hollering out. We'll see you guys on the board.